What's up, guys? Thank you for pressing your turn. In today's video, we're going to show you the first place deck profile from our local double box tourney we had this past Tuesday. First place here we have Dan, who was piloting Infernobles with Warrior Turbo, something like that. But yeah, here's the video.
Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Alright, so I play the connector package. As always, it's really good. 1-card combos. Can't say anything much more about it. Get to look at the hand. It's really good. Helps facilitate everything by itself. Then the next normal summon that I only normal summoned once throughout the entire tournament, and it was against my last matchup against Striktrons. This card is amazing. Even just special summoning off of his ult, it facilitates so much just by itself. It's the Phantom Knights of Torn Scales, and then of course I got the small PK package, which is 1 cloak and 1 boots. This is pretty much just extenders. Then I have the small Dark Warrior package, the Armageddon, and the Plague Spreader. Also just summoned out Plague Spreader once throughout this entire tournament, and again it was against my last matchup, Striktrons. Then as far as actual warrior extenders go, I run the 3 Fire Flint. I was seeing online that some people started cutting this down to 2, but I think running a 3 is still the correct ratio, because you run warriors. You run a lot of warriors in here, and a lot of people also sometimes they forget about the second effect, and that came up once today, but it's a really good extender. And the other extender goes is just 2 red layers. The reason why only 2 is because it's not how Infernoble used to be, where you keep on spamming out fire warrior monsters. This time you run other attributes as well, so there's that. But you also want to see it. It's not bad to see, and it's not bad not to see as well. As far as the actual Infernobles go, still running 3 Renaud. Again, saw some profiles where people were running 2. I even saw some where people were running 1, but this is the best extender you want to see at all times. As long as you have any fire warrior monster on field, this will get special summoned out always. And you run a good amount to get there. That's what we run. And then you also run 3 Olivers. The 3 Olivers. This one, I've seen some people again just running 2, 1. I still think 3 is good because of all the equips you run. You don't have to send fire warriors, which some people I see, they think they do, but in reality you could just send any equips that you bricked with, and it becomes a free special summon. It's a free tuner. Goes to new fiber or hockey fiber. Can't complain about that. And then the last Infernoble that I run is here. Some people actually cut it out. Throughout the playtesting that I was doing this weekend before, I actually didn't even have it. I was running a Stoffel, but there was too many times when I missed Ogier. We were just equipping it to Charles, and Charles just becomes out of nowhere 35k monster to 4k, and he can't be destroyed by card effects. He can't be targeted, and honestly, it's really hard to beat something like that throughout battle. Then the honorary Infernoble gear feed. I kind of wish I had 2, honestly, because throughout the playtesting, this card, if I can loop this, I pretty much take control of the entire game. But it's always a good follow-up to add off of Zold. It's not, you don't need him, but when you do see him, you know you pretty much won the game. Then, as far as the bricks go, the actual bricks from the deck, it would be Carboneton. You can't normal this at all. I mean, you can, but there's no way for you to continue facilitating your combos. The Galaxy Serpent to special summon off of Carboneton. It came up a couple times where I actually opened Galaxy Serpent and I used Carboneton still effect because he also specials from hand. And I think that's still pretty good. Plus facilitate your needle fiber as well. And then the normal ones, Despot 001 and Make a Phantom Beast Copeland. Can't really say much about these. Those are the hard bricks to the deck. But it's okay, because we have Plex Spirit in here, so you can always shuffle it back if need be. And then as far as spells go, it is, I have the 1-up, Reinforcement of the Army. This card, I literally still saw it once throughout the entire tournament. Saw it against my last matchup. It was pretty good. It helped me win the game, honestly. Then the other two rotas. The reason why I'm running two is because, well, honestly, the ratios of the Infernobles didn't change, but I'd rather see other types of extenders, not just pure Fire Warriors. And this gets me some of my crit spells, and it gets me the Infernobles, so it's pretty good. I wouldn't really like changing this. I like this ratio. I've had this ratio ever since before the balance even took place. I still enjoyed it. Wouldn't change it, me personally. And around triple tactics, it's a combo deck. You can get hand trapped here and there, so it's always good to either continue extending or just rip their hand apart. And potentially with the deck, you could rip still 2 to 3 times if you see another card, and if not, you can just rip again 2 times. And then this, I've seen some people do rather running their side, but I run two exchanges and 1 DD designator. I wish I had a second DD designator, because if you use Aqua Dolphin and they don't hand trap that, you look at their hand, then you can use DD designator, rip another one. Or if they do hand trap you, before you bring out Aqua Dolphin, you can use triple tactics, look at their hand, rip the card, remember the name, bring back DD designator, rip another card, and you theoretically use 3 cards out of their hand before you even combo it off. And now you know that they have no other followers to beat you. It's really hard beating this deck sometimes. So that is what I run that other people normally didn't have. I'm gonna run the 3 Living Fossils. Living Fossil is really good. Only once actually opened up with 2 of these, and it kind of hurt, but it was okay. I was still able to play through it just because I was able to pitch it off of Oliver and because of Torn Scales. The reason why I say that is because when I used Power Tool, they gave me another Living Fossil, so I had to pitch it twice, and I used it once. But overall, it's great. Monster Reborn. Can't complain about 3 Monster Reborns. And the other 3 searches of the deck, but also 3 equips, is Durandal. Sometimes you don't even start off with Durandal. You just add Durandal in the middle of your combo to be extending. Like at that point, you just feel like nothing can really stop you. Never really used the second effect, but it's another Rota. So technically, run like 6 Rotas. It's pretty good. Then the 1-off equips, I have 1 Phoenix Blade. It's standard. It's pretty crazy actually how much you can loop this as well. The Overdone Burial, just because I needed a 4's name, because that does come up. You rather have up to 4 different equips that you can always cycle through. The 1 DDR, because if you know you can overextend, you can literally pitch this and then grab it right back off of Renaud in the middle of the combo. And the last one is I can't even pronounce the name. I think it's called Joyce. Honestly, I'm sorry for butchering the name for all the hardcore Infernoble players out there, but this is a really good follow-up at the end phase, just equipping it to Charles, and from there, you know that on the next turn, you're going to have either a search or you're going to be able to add back whatever Infernoble you have in your grave back to hand and continue pushing through to KO. And the last 2 cards is the only 2 traps that are on the deck. It is Shade Breathing and Fog Blade. Fog Blade, amazing. Good negate. It's just sad though that most of the time I forget to even set it. And so I pass turn. There's that. Shade Brigading, I only used it once, honestly. And again, it was against my last matchup. And it drags on. But that is all I run for the main deck. It's a 49 card thing though.
Alright, 49 cards, but hey, 49 cards still got you to first place, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, just one short of 50. I don't think I'd cut anything down or change anything. Some people have told me to take out the exchange and designator, but it's come up a couple times where I was able to rip 2 to 3 cards in a turn. So I wouldn't complain. Ironically enough, it's pretty consistent for me. I haven't really bricked. The only chance that I would consider bricking was in my third matchup, but that's because I didn't have enough extenders to keep on pushing. I still made full combo, but if I got hand trapped along the way, I would have had to stop it right there.
Alright, now let's go ahead and see your side deck.
My side deck, I run 3 Ghost Bells. It's really good right now, this format. I know I have 1 Ultra, so yeah, 1 Ultra, 2 Secret. But it's okay, because it's still really good. Never actually had to side it in, except for the last matchup. Sided in against Dratons, never saw it. But theoretically it's really good. It also helps against like Dogmatica, which there are some players here. So you could always stop them if you're serving. Or you can even stop the invocation because you just drop this. They can't banish it, anything from the grave. Also, throughout the testing, I noticed that whenever people try to Ice Dragon Prison you could also drop this because now they can't they can't call by the grave you because they can't banish. It's really good overall. Dratrons can't special summon off the grave. Virtual World can't banish some of the cards when they need to. Or special that one monster whenever they're going to summon with another one. I don't really know Virtual World that well. I just let them do what they do. And I decide to break the build or just scoop it up, go to the next game. No need to stay there when you know you're going to lose. But overall, theoretically, it's a good hand trap. I like it. Some people run Skullmeisters. I just don't own any Skullmeisters. Then 3 Drone Lockbirds. This is really good because we have 2 ritual players here now. Before it used to be 1. But it's also good against the Dogmatica because most of the time when they run Alistair.friends, you just drop this on their meltdown and they're pretty much can't add invocation unless they have it. They can't use Nadir Servants. It's really good. Rituals, well, you know, they add, you know, with Dratrons, they like to abuse Ben 10. So when you drop it on the first ad, either off of Alpha or Zeta, it's pretty much an auto win because they just gotta pass with a weaker board than normal. Can't even ruler you unless they open all the extenders to keep on pushing, but they can't add, so that's always good. They can't abuse Ben 10 hard, they're meant to be. 3 Lightning Storms, just because there's also a lot of back row here, ironically. This is mostly just for my back row wife, just to get rid of her. I don't like dealing with back row. If you saw a combo player, don't appreciate back row. Never really once used it against the monsters. It was always just back row. There was this one match that I used exchange. They took away my Lightning Storm, but even then they kaiju my 1 negate, and when they used it, they couldn't break Charles because he was equipped with Ogier. So there is that. The one Feather Duster, again, don't like back row. Red Reboot, can't stress it enough, do not like back row. I'm not a fan of back row. And this is for the Virtual World. It was the 3 Nibiru's. Luckily didn't have to play against it, but it was there just in case. And the 1 because sometimes you are prone to going into time. 1 because you're a combo player, but 2 because other people could push you into time. And you gotta have ways to burn your opponent just to make sure that you can also win. So I run Scarlet Raider and Archfiend just because it's a level 8, you can make it. Destroy your own monsters, sure, but when it's going into time, that doesn't really matter because you just burn them anyways. But I never had to use it, thankfully.
Alright, and now your extra deck.
And the extra deck, let's see, I run the 1 Herald of the Arclight. I used it once, and the one time that I used it, it won me the game because I brought it down under Drytrons again last round. Ended with Appaloosa and Rebel Darklight. They kept on activating their effects from hand. Everything just kept on getting banished. And the one time when I negated, it was too late. They had like 2 cards in hand. They couldn't do anything after that because when they brought another monster, I activated roll an effect from grave and then popped it, so they couldn't even do anything. So it's really good. You can also make it if you overextend. There's sometimes when you can end on Appaloosa, Charles, Savage, and even this, but it's better not to overextend. Also have the one Roland, can't complain about Roland. Roland is real good. Lets you always add more cards to your hand at the end phase. Can't complain about it. Yeah. Then, the MVP of the entire tournament, Power Tool Dragon. It is 2 of them because they are not hard ones per turn. So you just add whatever equips you want. And as you saw, I run only 3 of certain equips, which was Durandal and Living Fossil. So you just add them. You had Durandal with 1, Living Fossil with another. It does not matter what way you use them, honestly, but what order you use them. But it's really good. You just continue pushing through. So this is where my variation changes from one of the templates that I saw, which was from Hunter Lloyd, I believe. You can see his stuff on his French channel, I think, which is Pillow Kings. So he runs 2 of these, and then he runs Dracosac. I don't run Dracosac. I don't think Dracosac is necessary. It's an extra body and dex. It takes an extra dex space that's not really necessary. You can win most of your matchups with like 2 negates and a pop. Well, 3 technically. So can't really complain about that. I really enjoyed having double power tool, and I gotta give a huge shout out first to the judge that lent it to me. But sadly he wasn't here today. So huge shout out to Ceviche. But double power tool is honestly the way to go with this deck now. Then the last 3 synchros, the big boys, is Savage, Charles, and Virtual World QB Shenshen, the Fox. So this one, it's pretty simple. Make the negate. He get Aurora Dawn to equip to him. He now has 3 counters. Becomes pretty big. People can't really run him more, so they usually try to kite him in, and they ignore the biggest threat of the actual deck, which is Charles. Charles is crazy. Charles gets pops. Charles gets advantages. You equip the Joyce to him. You equip Durandal to him. You equip Oliver Ogier to him. He becomes up to a 14 monster that people can't destroy with card effects, and they can't target him either. So he's like really good. And then the last one, Shenshen, he's just a level 9. He's just a name. Sometimes, honestly, I don't even know if his great effect never came up to me. The one time I was going to use him, the player scooped because we had like 30 seconds left in the match. But this is there, level 9. And to go into the VFD, he's good, but my build is not meant to turbo him out. I can, but I'd rather not. He becomes an auto win against certain decks. For example, Dartrons should bring him out, call light. They can't really do much from there. I used them once, and it was so I could survive a turn, and it was against the Unchained deck. I called Darks just to survive 1 turn, so I could be able to beat him. So he was mostly used as a shield, never really used for his actual effect to like shut out his opponent for multiple turns and then basically gather all the resources you need to beat him. It was there just so I could survive. And the links, it is 2 soul. I still think 2 soul is good. Some people still run 2 soul. Some people cut it down to 1. I think 2 soul is too powerful not to run. It searches, adds you advantage, special summons. So this card's like really good. Then the new edition is Cherubini. Kiss Cherubini pitches your card Banetta, and that's how you get to your Lucky 5-backs. But the thing is, with Cherubini and these two, Cherubini and Soul on Field, you're able to make Appaloosa with 2 counters, not big, but still does the job to put up a negate before you go into Hockey 5-backs, the actual turning point of the entire combo. Everybody knows what he does. Special, bring out the Despot and combo off from there. Full win, not full win, my bad. It's Horodon. Horodon specials up the tokens, but because of Horodon, you're able to go into double power tool, and that is the way how you combo off with this deck. Honestly, double power tool, it's too good. Can't complain about Link Cross being banned because honestly, like I said, it's just too good getting extenders whenever you need them to. Appaloosa brings up up to 2 counters. Not threatening. It's just again to prevent you from getting time trapped to death. And besides that, nobody ever really was able to run it over, ironically. Then the last one is access code. Never made it once, but it is there just so you can OTK, honestly, because by the time turn 3 comes around, you're gonna have an Appaloosa, you're gonna have a Charles, a Savage, and Charles is gonna be equipped with Joey's, with Durandal, and you're gonna have up to 4 cards in hand. So you're gonna push with a 63,000 damage access code, but never came up. So that is my entire extra deck.